Alright, 今日の曜日 it's Dodo, Saturday, November 19th, 2023. Here from Pacifica, California, 12 miles south of San Francisco, California. The low is 44, and I think it's gone up to like 60 degrees today. So not too bad, but it was windy as hell. Like, there's just debris everywhere. But today, Medaka metal style. The Medaka metal today is our made in Senjutsu, Art of War. I don't know why I'm laughing, but so last week I was talking about providing more water volume per Medaka during the cooler seasons, right? So late fall, winter time, like now, and then till early spring. And I will talk about why. I talked about why more water volume during the cooler seasons. By the way, I have like eye candy. I was checking out this guy. This guy's a Sanshoku 3-color, and there's some lame on here, so I figure I'll just float this guy around. This is a boy. So water volume. I was talking about water depth. That's important. And then ultimately, like, how many Medakas can I keep in my tub, right? But before I do that, real quick sip. The best beer of the day is the beer that I'm having with you, all you Medaka heads. So, kanpai chin chin chayo. Okay. So, water volume. Let's talk about water volume. Why more water volume during these cooler seasons? What happens when the temperature drops? Medakas are less active, right? I talked about the 44, 50, 60 temperature trigger points for the Medakas. At 44, they're chillaxing at the bottom because they're not hibernating, but they're just trying to conserve their energy, not moving around because they really can't digest any of the nutrients or the food. When you see the temperatures, the water temperatures rising above 50, that's when they start moving around a little bit. And as the temperature reaches 60, that's when their optimal metabolism, meaning they're able to digest. Remember, they don't have stomachs, right? So that's the 44, 50, 60 rule that I talked about 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. I forgot. So knowing that, as the temperature drops, you're not going to see them. They're going to be at the bottom of the bins that you have, the tubs that you have outdoors. Because they're chillaxing, trying to reserve their energy to get through this time of season, the last thing you want to do is you don't want to startle them. By startling them, you're causing them to unnecessarily move around, use up their energy. So what causes startle? Well, sudden movement, human movement. It could be other sources. But what we have in control, it's us moving around. And then water changes. Water changes we do to keep the water stable, right? So we can do that a lot when it's warmer because they're already active and they're eating. But during the cooler times, they're trying not to move because they want to save their energy. So by doing water changes, it causes them to move and they're using up unnecessary energy that they want to hold on to. So that's why you want to move them up into an area where they have more water per fish, right? More water volume per Medaka, to try to keep that stability of the water since you're not able to do the water changes. Right. So that's one. What other factors are there when the temperature drops? Food source. Natural food source. They're not going to be coming up, moving around, looking for your food that you feed because they're trying to chillax and not move. So they resort to food sources, energy sources that they could get naturally around them. So they'll stay still on the bottom. They will, through their mouth, through their gills, they'll obtain natural nutrients through microorganisms, all these little tiny creatures that are swimming around that we can't see. And then the green water. What is green water? It's phytoplanktons. What is phytoplanktons? It's basically algae, right? So they eat that stuff. So if you heavily populate your tub, there's going to be less of that available. You want to make sure that they have easy access to these natural nutritional energy source while they're chillaxing at the bottom. So again, the last thing you want is for the medakas to become skittish during winter. What happens in spring? Yeah, the temperature comes up, but however, they're really prone to diseases, and you may see some of them not making it when spring comes along. What happens when spring comes along? When spring comes along, the daytime, the temp goes up. In the morning, it's still chilly. So you have a lot of fluctuation in weather, temperature. Medakas, it really stresses them out. When you have sudden fluctuation from low to high, that really puts a toll on them, and they use a lot of energy just to be able to make it, right? So making sure that they have enough to consume within the given space during the cold times is very essential to make sure that they are plump when early spring comes around. Let me just take a real quick sip. All right, next, the depth. Why depth matters. So here's an example. I have two containers. This one is from Japan. It's a very popular style, NV box. 22 liter, it's about 5 gallons. This is also popular in Japan. It's the IKEA Torofasto. This holds about the same amount, 5 gallons. So we're talking about two containers. It holds the same amount of water, right? But the dimensions are different. Well, the depth, this one has more depth, the Torofasto, versus the NV box, the 22 liter. When you look at the top, the surface area, smaller surface area. This one has a larger surface area. And let me start talking about the properties of water first. So water has the greatest density when it's at 39 degrees Fahrenheit, 4 degrees Celsius. What does that mean? What does it mean by water being dense? That means the water could be freezing up here, freezing temperature at 0 degrees Fahrenheit. The warmer, the 4 degrees Celsius, 39 degrees Fahrenheit water, because the density, because it's heavier, it'll drop to the bottom. And that's why medakas are chillaxing at the bottom of these bins, okay? So keeping that in mind, again, it could be freezing, it could be ice cold up here, but as you go to the bottom, it's going to be warmer. Now, why does that have to relate to the depth? Same volume, larger surface area, quicker it chills, it freezes. So you have two bins, 5 gallons, 5 gallons. Because this has a larger surface area, if it's frozen up here, if you have a layer of ice, well, this tub right here is going to freeze all the way a lot quicker than this tub over here because it has smaller surface area, less surface area. and it's going to take time, meaning this tub is a lot more stable temperature-wise than this one. A lot of places we live in, I mean, you're not going to see the entire tub freezing, but I mean, that's a visual, right? You see a layer of ice and the ice just continuing to grow to the bottom where this tub ends up being an ice cube. Or this one, it'll take longer for the ice to reach the bottom, meaning it'll provide a gradual temperature change instead of a sudden for the Medakas. So that's why depth matters. And we're comparing two completely different dimensions, but it holds the same amount of water. So I don't know if that made sense or not, but hopefully. Trying to keep it short, 11 minutes. I was trying to wrap it up in 10 minutes, but I failed again. The last question over here. So how many Medakas should I keep during these cooler times? So these are 10 gallons size. There's only probably 8.5, 9 gallons, but per 10 gallon, to do the math, it's simple. Again, two different answers. During the winter, up to 18, so I have 15 in each. Okay. During the summer, up to 28 is the max amount for the reasons that I talked about. Summer, you can do more water changes, and you don't have to worry too much about this. All right. So that's about it, folks, for today. MedakaMetal style. Little eye candy here. This is a tricolor, so there's the orange. I wanted to make it a tancho. A tancho is when you have the orange just in the head, but I see the orange spreading to the tail. I see the black sumi on the head, so it's not going to be a good parent when I'm trying to develop something. There's a little lame too, so actually this one is a good example of it has all the 4 shikisos. What is shikisoho? Shikisoho is basically the pigment, the melanin, that the cells that give the color. And Medakas, they have 4 different colors, right? Or 3 different colors, and one being the reflection on all that. You have the yellow, you have the black, you have the white. And then you have what is called the rainbow, shikisoho. Medaka is one of the fishes, compared to like the goldfishes and the koi, they have red, but Medakas do not. So to make the orange, it's a combination of the yellow and the black. So the more intense the yellow is with the combination of the black, you're going to see Medakas that have more intense orange. This one's pretty light, right? But here's an example where it has the yellow and the black and the white, and it's hard to see, but there's lame. So lame is where you see the rainbow shikisoho, the pigments. So the rainbow shikisoho is basically, a rainbow is a reflection. So if you see around their eyes, you see the silver. You see on the side of their cheeks, you see the silver reflection. A lot of times you'll see their silver reflection on their belly. That's the rainbow shikisoho. The lame on the top of this, that's the rainbow shikisoho. The lame is on each scale. A lot of people, we talk about taigaiko, like, I don't have an example right here, but the Miyukis I have right here, where you have the nice blue shining line on the spine, it's called a taigaiko. Taigaiko, what is that? Well, taigaiko is the rainbow shikiso. To the melanin that's coming from the rainbow, right? That gives it that shine, so. Maybe I'll talk about that in depth, but just remember, for Medakas, you have yellow pigments, you have black pigments, white, and then you have the rainbow. Okay, that's it, the 4. Which is distinct because, again, goldfishes have red and koi's have red. That's why you don't see medakas that have that same type of red, right? Because they don't have the red. It's a combination of the yellow and the black pigments, the melanin, that's creating this kind of orangish kind of look. So, okay, enough of me. Domo arigato. Thank you very mucho gracias for listening to the Medaka Metal show. Not a show, but I guess a YouTube thing. And we'll do it again next time. YouTube, or I can be found on Instagram, Medaka Metal. On YouTube, go to the community tab, and then I have some like questions that I post out there. So if you could partake in that, it'll give me an idea of what direction to go. It looks like right now, a lot of people want me to go hybrid style, so half Japanese, half English, kind of do the bilingual thing, but we'll see. But hopefully there was some information out of the 16 minutes and 30 seconds that I talked through the beer, of the power of the beer, and all you Medaka heads. So we'll do it again next time. Kanpai chin chin. Oh yeah. But yeah, Medakas are beautiful, yeah. Oh, all right. I lost him, but we'll do it again next time.